While the Joker is on fire, Lady Gaga is in shock, and director Todd Philips is in hiding. Over at Disney and Star Wars, it's another day that ends in Y, because Ewan McGregor is threatening us with another season of Obi-Wan Kenobi, while Jodie Turner-Smith, the self-declared powerful leader in the Acolyte, has disparaging words for the fans. Let's dive in. Let's begin with Obi-Wan Kenobi, a series that had great potential, and that initially was going to feature Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, and Luke Skywalker. But as WDW Pro reported at the time, that was simply too many white males on screen at the same time, and thus a violation of Disney's on-screen representation initiatives. So after some reworking, the released Season 1 ended up being about Obi-Wan, Darth Vader, a young Leia, and newcomer Moses Ingram as Reva, the third sister. It is not for me to say if this reworked version of the show ended up being better or worse than the initial plan, though I'd love to hear your thoughts on that in the comments. Either way, ratings-wise, Season 1 was off to a strong start, though hardly anyone remained by the time Season 1 ended, and today, the show is mostly remembered for the hostage video Disney had Ewan McGregor make about how anyone who were not nice, let's put it in YouTube-friendly terms, towards Moses Ingram were not fans of Star Wars in his book. As per usual, there was much more virtue signaling outrage for fans allegedly not being nice to Moses Ingram than there were any publicly visible receipts of anyone demonstratively not having been nice. There also weren't enough viewers to justify a second season, though it was never officially cancelled, which brings us to this story from Deadline Hollywood. Ewan McGregor says Disney and Lucasfilm are exploring ideas for Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2. The story reads, Ewan McGregor is keeping hopes alive about a potential second season for the Star Wars series Obi-Wan Kenobi. During an appearance at LA Comic-Con, the actor hinted that Disney and Lucasfilm are exploring potential ideas featuring the Jedi Master. Obviously, between the end of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series and when Alec Guinness is Obi-Wan Kenobi, there's got to be another few stories in there, he said during the panel. And jumping forward a bit, as far as what McGregor would like to do in the Star Wars universe, he said, there's a couple of things. I'd quite like to wear that armor. I was speaking to someone earlier from the Clone Wars. I think that's something I would enjoy. He might very well enjoy that, but unless there is a complete and total replacement of everyone creatively running things over at Lucasfilm, I'm not sure anyone else would, because Obi-Wan Kenobi is the kind of high-profile series that can either right a listing ship or torpedo it completely, and Season 1, alas, did the latter. From there, it was all downhill for Star Wars, so far culminating with The Acolyte, a series so badly rejected by viewers worldwide that it was actively cancelled, something Jodie Turner-Smith was none too pleased about. Before we get on with the story, let's take a moment to remind ourselves who Jodie Turner-Smith is and what she's known for.
So my character, you know, she's a powerful leader. She's a powerful leader, yes. In a very woman-centered world, which I was very excited to kind of be that, because I feel like Star Wars is very like patriarchal, so it was kind of cool to have like this sort of woman-centered figure.
With that reminder out of the way, Bounding into Comics has the story. The Acolyte actor Jodie Turner-Smith, unhappy with Star Wars series cancellation, hopes fans stop having stick up their ass about people of color being part of IPs that were created by white people. Well, that title is a mouthful, but it's nothing if not descriptive. The story reads that she expressed her disappointment towards the Acolyte's reception during a recent interview with Glamour UK's Iana Murray. She spoke about how excited she was to be working with Amandla Stenberg, but, however, her excitement would ultimately be short-lived, as having now broached the subject of her time in a galaxy far, far away, Turner-Smith would recall. Stenberg put so much care and thought and love into that, and it's disappointing to feel like your studio is not having your back in a very public-facing way. To this end, the actress then called on Disney to stop doing this thing where they don't say anything when people are getting fucking dogpiled on the internet with racism and bullshit. It's just not fair to not say anything, she added. It's really unfair. It would just be nice if the people that have all the money were showing their support and putting their feet down, Turner-Smith further lamented. Say, this is unacceptable, you're not a fan if you do this. So, in other words, she wants another hostage video, like the one Ewan McGregor did from his car for Moses Ingram. That was a big statement, though I'm not sure it had the intended effect. Or perhaps she is asking for an even bigger statement against the fans, or at least those among the fans accused of being nasty people. And remember, Amanda Stenberg later clarified that all of that racism she claimed to have been at the receiving end of, in actuality, was criticism leveled at the show. She just interpreted it as racism. Either way, Turner-Smith continues, make a really big statement and just see if any money leaves. I bet you it won't, because people of color, and especially black people, make up a very large percentage of buying power. They might find it's actually more lucrative for them. So in other words, she seems to be of the opinion that if Disney chases the mean of the white people in their audience away, that's going to be lucrative for them, because then a more diverse audience would feel safe and flock in to replace them. Except that is kind of what Disney has been doing the past decade, and it hasn't worked out. On the contrary, it has led to the downfall of both Star Wars and Marvel, the biggest entertainment brands of all time. And beyond Disney, AAA games are in crisis for the exact same reason. So Disney would perhaps be better served by not taking business advice from Jodie Turner-Smith. I cut her quote mid-sentence though, because I wanted to save the best for last. But everyone's using woke like it's a dirty word. That would be because it is. I'm sure that she believes in the fiction that woke merely means to be aware of historic injustices and to be extra hyper-delicate around people of color because of it. But in the real world, it means subscribing to an ideological, power-based worldview where humanity is divided into a matrix of perceived oppressors and the oppressed, based on skin color, gender, and other inaccurate and inconsistent metrics. And then your level of human worth is declared by how oppressed you are according to your group identity. There is absolutely no science or actual data behind any of this, of course, only ideology. And as a result, wherever wokeness has been introduced, social cohesion collapses, and social unrest follows. Everyone is using woke as a dirty word because it is a dirty word, and data clearly demonstrates that it's not only devastating to business, it's detrimental to society and overall bad for humanity. And people like these accuse fans of being toxic. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments.